And we are live. Totally Recalled MMA is back, baby. All three of us are in here. What's up, y'all?
Hey, well, what to do? What to do? We back.
How's it going?
Going pretty good, guys. I mean, I know it's been 3 weeks since I've been on the show. I was in Florida a couple weeks ago, and then due to some college stuff, I was unable to get on the show 2 weeks ago. No, wait, yeah. You guys did a show not last week, but 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks
And then the
ago.
week before that, um, Tommy was gone. So now we're all back. We're all ready to go. And yeah, we've got kind of like this brief intermission, at least with the UFC right now. They've been doing cards all year, every weekend all year. And coming off of London on Saturday, which was a fight pass, which we can touch briefly on. We've got kind of like this 3-week intermission. And as a UFC fan, we're so used to getting these cards every week, back to back to back every week until UFC 223 is going to feel like an eternity. Do you guys feel the same way?
Yeah, man, I feel the same way. It's crazy because, like you said, all these cards have been happening, and haven't had shit. I mean, London was an okay card. I just didn't feel like it brought to my attention, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good fights on it, but it wasn't like a superstar card. Wasn't really like popping on the scene.
Yeah, I felt like it was good for some definite overturn in the divisions for the co-main. That was the light heavyweight fight between Manawa and Blachowicz, if I'm pronouncing that right. And so that was, I believe, a number 4 ranked guy, and Manawa losing to Blachowicz. So there's going to be some turnover there. Then we saw Volkov knocking out Verdum. I actually thought that fight was really good. But we're going to see that turnover in the division. So I think it's good for the UFC, maybe not good for the casual fans that are, hoping for these like stacked cards, but I thought London was okay. But now, like I said, we've got this time or the UFC has this time that it can really ramp up the promo for 223, which is going to be great. You guys are going. You guys talk a little bit about your excitement for that?
Yeah, dude, I am. You guys already know how excited I am. You guys know I'm a huge Joanna fan, so this is going to be crazy for me. It's going to be Khabib, Tony. We might see Connor. Tommy, are you shitting yourself? Because I am.
Hell yeah, this is probably the best card I've ever gone to. I'm just ready. I'm just ready to be in the arena, ready to see Khabib and Tony go at it live in our nosebleed seats. It's gonna be a good time.
Hell yeah, man. We're gonna try to make it the weigh-ins. Hopefully we can get some media in, maybe, and, totally recall MMA. Shout us out.
Yo, that for sure. You guys will definitely be there. And Tommy was saying before the podcast that you guys are gonna, get a vlog together and hopefully walk up to some fighters and get some footage or some pictures. Maybe get the fighters to shout out the show, and that'll be really cool, man.
Hell yeah.
So I mean, even with this intermission that we've got going on, I feel like there's been a lot of craziness in the world of MMA and the UFC. We've got a lot of fights being announced. Got a lot of just real interesting news, and I'm hesitant to open up with this topic. And I know I expressed my hesitance before we started this show, but earlier last week, Conor McGregor opened up as a 10-1 betting favorite in an MMA fight against Floyd Mayweather, who you guys know has been kind of teasing fans, teasing people, talking about how he needs 6 to 8 months to train. His wrestling is at a 7, but it can be improved. And my takeaway from this, at least from these odds, is that they're not high enough. It needs to be 10,000 to 1. Any other kind of odds you think is 10 to 1 good enough?
Honestly, I don't even want to talk about it because I just know it's not going to happen. For them to even say that Floyd was stepping octagon with Conor is ridiculous. It's not going to happen. Boxing, okay, they did it, they got it done. But there's just no way in hell he steps in the octagon against one of the most feared fighters in there. Like, it wouldn't make any sense. He would get battered within seconds. He'd make a lot of money, but it's just not going to happen. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I don't think this fight's ever gonna happen. I think Mayweather's just saying stuff just to get his name like in the hat, still popular in the media, because he's a 40-year-old man who's retired in boxing, and he's got to say something to stay kind of relevant in mixed martial arts and boxing. So, I mean, 10-1 is nowhere close to what it should be. It should be near Cal's rating.
Yeah, it's got to be up near 1,000-1. You know, kind of when you see an MMA fighter, you know, like Conor step into the boxing ring, it's a lot different than the other way around. Like a boxer coming in, right? Like the striking range is probably the most difficult thing that Floyd would have to overcome. You know, Floyd's going to be met with probably a flurry of kicks. Conor's going to be, you know, kicking the legs out from under Mayweather. Just the distance, I think, is what would make all the difference. We don't have to spend too much time on talking about that. What I think is actually more likely would be Mayweather stepping in with like CM Punk. I think that would definitely be. Yo, I know you're cringing. I know you're cringing, but
he can't do it though. He can't do it. If he were to step in the octagon, it would have to be against Conor. There's just no, you can't. It has to be even. Conor went to your realm and fought you. You have to come to his realm and fight him. It just, I can't. If they were to do that, I'd be highly disappointed. I would definitely watch it, but it's just kind of like, he took the easy way out. I would give the upper hand to Floyd against CM Punk. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I would bet my money on Floyd against CM Punk. I'm just being honest.
Hey, CM Punk could have a nasty double leg. You know
I mean, he could have that. I just think that, as far as we haven't seen any of his striking, we haven't seen anything. We just seen him get mauled. And I mean, Floyd can strike. We know that. Floyd can throw punches. So I don't know. I just don't. I want. If he's gonna get into the octagon, it would have to be against Conor. I just know it just would never happen. He would get leg kick TKO'd within 13 seconds. It would just be another Jose Aldo. It's, you know, like.
I think he would do it. I think he would do it for the right amount of money.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're talking about
the right amount of money.
We're talking about $1 billion to get him in there. You hate Floyd that much that you're going to pay him $1 billion to step in the octagon?
I'm not paying the dude, and I think it would. I think it could. I mean, I think it could do just as well, pay-per-view wise as Maymac, which we both know. Like, I mean, we all know, like, you know, was one of the biggest events that the UFC has ever been involved in. To have an event like Conor versus Floyd under, you know, the UFC moniker, you know, that's not something that's too preposterous, especially with these new owners. You know, it's about the entertainment, guys.
It's possible. It's possible. I just, it's hard to really envision Floyd stepping in the octagon. You know, he went on there, he teased this little video, like, it's just, come on. You'll get picked up, slammed on your head, and it's over. Like, well, what's the point? What's the point?
It's ridiculous how we're even talking about the possibility of Floyd Mayweather versus CM Punk.
Oh my god!
In MMA. It's just so stupid, but it's just so entertaining at the same time.
But what if? Yeah. What if this happens? Then what? Like, whoa! Like, I don't even know what to say.
Never say never.
Yeah,
Mayweather McGregor happened.
Yeah, never say never when we're talking money and we're talking Conor and we're talking Floyd. I mean, that's all I got to say. Like I said, like the CM Punk matchup is a little bit more reasonable. But, you know, moving on, we already know CM Punk is booked for a fight at is Chicago UFC 225?
I believe so, 225.
Right. So he doesn't have an official opponent lined up. The rumors are that he's going to go against this guy, this 0-1 guy. Do I have the name correct? It's Mike Jackson.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so he's 0-1 in the UFC as well. I don't really know. I feel like we didn't get a good gauge of Punk's actual abilities against, you know, because Mickey Gall's a real, you know, he was a real killer. I mean, he's a real opponent.
Yeah, he's for real, man. He's no joke.
So I feel like in this matchup, if it's the matchup that, you know, is rumored, we could see a totally different fight. And, you know, CM's been training now for a few years. I don't know. How do you guys think CM Punk's going to do in his next fight?
Yeah, I mean, both fights went similar. They both fought Mickey Gall. Mike Jackson fought Mickey Gall too, and they kind of a similar fight. The only difference in the fights was, I think Mike Jackson, he got cracked, but the shot dropped and then submitted. And, we didn't see much from either of them. It literally played out the same exact way. So now we don't know what both of them are capable of. So, I mean, it could actually be a good fight in the making, two 0-1 guys. So, I mean, it could be awesome. It could be a great fight. You never know. You never know.
I mean, the UFC is setting this up for CM Punk to win a fight. And Mike Jackson is an MMA journalist who stepped up to fight Mickey Gall. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a silly matchup, but CM Punk, what are you going to do? I mean, I'm pretty sure CM Punk is going to win, correct? I don't know.
Who knows?
I have no idea. I would put money on him, though. For sure.
Yeah.
I would put money on both of them.
Is it his hometown? He's going to be in his hometown? You got it. You got to do it.
Oh, dude, it's going to
do it.
It's gonna be sick. Also, we know now headlining on that Chicago card is gonna be the rematch for the undisputed middleweight title between Robert Whittaker, the champ, and Yoel Romero. Yoel's coming off a win against Rockhold. We saw him viciously knock him out, and Whittaker hasn't fought since him and Romero fought, and he got injured pretty badly in that fight. I like the fact that these two are going to rematch. I know we were very hard on Yoel coming off that card because of the unprofessionalism, the missed weight, the just kind of his outrageousness after the fight. But after some time has passed, and during Yoel kind of won me over when he went on Rogan's podcast, telling his life story and stuff. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great podcast.
I thought it was a good podcast. Yeah, it seems like Romero's actually like kind of a good guy. So to see him get another shot at the gold, I'm not too hesitant about, especially when their first fight was so good. Tommy, I'll start with you, man. How do you see the rematch going?
Honestly, I think it's gonna happen the same way because there really hasn't been that much time for Romero to get well prepared for Robert Whittaker, because Robert Whittaker, I think he's just the best in the world, in my opinion. He just figures out every single game plan. The way he figured out Jacare was masterful. The way he figured out Yoel Romero was masterful. And I just feel like he does it again.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Tommy. I think it's going to be the same exact fight. I don't know. I mean, I think Yoel tried to wrestle with them, and he realized that, he could stuff those takedowns. So I don't know. Maybe he has a different game plan. Maybe he'll try to stand and bang with them. I mean, and that's the exciting thing about this sport is you never know what will happen. But I mean, if I think about those two names, I still think Whittaker will be victorious.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that the only cause for speculation would be Whittaker, who injured his leg or his shin in the middle of the fight. So I don't know what that rehab process has been like for him. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight. And yeah, it's going to be good. Not sure why they picked Chicago or why they felt like they needed to get this fight booked so early. But yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think it was more of Whittaker. He was so eager to fight. He was like, put me anywhere pretty much. And Yoel was like, I'm with it. So, I mean, now we got to fight.
Yeah, plus the UFC, they kind of needed a main event because there weren't really that many fights that were available to book that were like pay-per-view main event status.
Yeah, no, for sure. The UFC's, they need championship fights for their pay-per-views. We know that. So wherever they can get those booked, they're going to take it regardless of time. We already know that we're gearing up for a hell of a summer. We touched a little bit on Stipe versus Cormier. That matchup this summer is going to be great. You guys said that they had finished concluding filming the Ultimate Fighter season that they're going to do.
That is correct.
You guys know when that's going to air? I mean,
I have to check on that, actually. I do not know when that's going to air. I know that they finished, though, just because I follow them both on social media. I saw them posting like they wrapped up the season or whatever. So, but yeah, I need to look that up and see when that is. I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't really watched the last few Ultimate Fighter seasons. I think the last one that I watched was Joanna and Claudia. I like that season. That was
I love that season,
especially when they fought at the end.
Hell yeah.
That was super sick. It's super cool how they make the coaches fight now, which
Oh yeah.
which is awesome. Some other news that's going on. We've got some other fights that have been announced just in the recent weeks. Today we saw Frankie Edgar getting booked in a rematch against Cub Swanson for the Atlantic City card, and yeah, I'm not sure why they booked this one because the first fight was a beatdown. And Edgar's coming off of just getting his shit lifted off the ground just a few weeks ago. I mean, I think it's definitely a testament to Edgar's toughness, his mindset, and I don't see why that contest should go any different. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, all right. I think this is Cub Swanson's. This is his moment to finish Frankie Edgar, because I think it's too quick of a turnaround for Frankie Edgar because he just got knocked out by Brian Ortega, and he should have like at least 6 months to just recover from such a brutal knockout like that. And I think it's going to be a completely different fight than the first time. I'm not sure if Cub Swanson wins it, but I know he's a much, much better fighter than he was in the first fight. I don't think it's going to be a domination like the first fight either, but we'll see what happens.
For sure. Ray, you want to add to that maybe a little bit?
Yeah, I had a little bit to it. Yeah, I mean, I'll just add in both guys did get finished by Ortega, T-City. but yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like Tommy said, this is the perfect time for Cub. You know, they took Cub completely off the rankings. You know, this is a chance for him to get his name back on the rankings. And, you know, it's just a fight that I think that Cub can win. And it's just, like you said, too quick of a turnaround for Frankie. But, I mean, Cub still has to work on that takedown defense, too. You know, he still gets taken down quite a lot. But, I mean, far as striking, I will say Cub has the upper hand just because he's a little bit more different. He's strange. You know, he throws a lot of weird kicks, a lot of weird punches. And, you know, Frankie likes to be in your face, dirty, take you down. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a cool fight. I think it was just two guys who wanted to fight. That's it. Two guys who wanted to fight, and they made it happen.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see it. I'm gonna watch it. Is Kevin Lee on that card or no?
He is actually. The main event of that card is Barboza and Kevin Lee.
Let's go. I like it.
I'm Team Kevin Lee. after that fight.
I like Kevin Lee in that. That fight too. He looked really good in his last two fights. I think he did look really good against Ferguson, and obviously like choking out Chiesa in the way that he did in his fight previous to that one. Lee's dope, man, and like I feel like his arrogance and like his whole attitude like initially turned me off. You know, in this era of post McGregor, like you've got a lot of guys that, you know, don't seem as authentic as possible, but I mean, he shows his shit in the octagon, man. It's about whether you can fight or not, and dude's a good fighter, and I think that the loss against Ferguson definitely humbled him. So that's going to be a dope fight too. Also, what we saw announced just before the London card was UFC's first ever event in Liverpool. They're clearly trying to, you know, push Till, push Darren Till, who has that headlining spot. Today I just watched like a profile that ESPN UK just released on him. He's getting a push. He doesn't have an opponent yet, but we did see how great he looked against Cerrone. I kind of want to talk about who you guys think he should fight in Liverpool, because you know, we were running through the welterweight rankings before we started, and you know, I'm under the mindset that he could fight anybody, and I'll really watch it. He could fight anybody. Tommy, I'll start with you. Who do you think the UFC should pit against this dude in Liverpool? And that's going to be. That looks like it's going to be. I don't know what the date on that is. Oh, May 27th. It's a Sunday. So, Tommy, who do you think that Till should fight?
I think he's got a lot of options. He's got Usman, he's got Santiago Ponzinibbio, stuff like that. But like I said before the show started, I really feel like the fight that could sell the tickets, bring in the viewers, is Colby Covington. That's the fight. That's the fight to make, and I just want to see it. I just want to see those two guys talking trash on the stage. I just love it.
Oh, I hate Covington, man. He's so annoying. He is so annoying. If he fights Darren Till, I hope he gets smashed, completely annihilated. I hate him, man. I hate him.
So Ray, you want to see him fight Covington too?
Well, if I had to put my choice, I would say Jorge Masvidal. But if he did fight Darren Till, I would just want him to just get completely wiped off the face of the universe.
Yeah, and that would definitely boost Till like in the rank if that fight goes the way that we think it might go. We were talking about Covington getting just pieced up by Maia in his life. I mean, that was a fight that Covington won, but you go against a dude with Muay Thai like Darren Till. Just the striking is going to be a lot for Covington.
Oh yeah.
You guys are, definitely in the majority when you say that you want to see Covington get his clock clean, because dude's got a lot of haters.
He deserves those haters. He's just so ignorant, and he's just so disrespectful to everyone for no reason. And
run into him in Brooklyn.
Oh, he's getting elbowed for sure by me. They'll put me on the card. They'll put me on the fight card. But seriously, he's just like so disrespectful. Verdum coming off his loss, he's just being so disrespectful about it. You don't ever want to kick a guy when he's down. You got a lot of people putting their bodies on the line for this, and there's a lot of mental to this. And you're just gonna kick him while he's down and laugh in his face. It's just not cool. You never want to see anyone lose. Like at the end, you guys all should respect each other. You're all fighters. You're doing the same thing. Just have some respect. Like, I get there's going to be heated warfare. That's okay. But at the end of the day, you got to respect each other.
I think so, too. I mean, Covington's definitely got like a WWE shtick going on. Hold on just 1 second, y'all. I just had some friends walk in. Guys, I'm filming my podcast right now. Say what up to the viewers out there. Give a shout out to Totally Recalled MMA.
Hey, what's poppin'?
What's up, guys?
What's poppin'?
Hey, so yeah, kind of moving on from there. I mean, those are some recent fights that have been announced. Kind of just also one other thing that I wanted to touch on before we kind of close out was Cynthia Calvillo, who we know lost in her last fight against was it Esparza?
Yeah, Carlos Esparza, the Cookie Monster.
She had a tough fight against Esparza. That was back in December, or that was on the same fight as or the same card as Cyborg. So that was, I think, December 30th, one of those dates. But anyways, basically she tested positive after the fight for marijuana. Initially, we thought it was going to be a 6-month suspension that could be reduced to 3-month suspension. But now we learned that it's going to be a 9-month suspension for Calvillo, who claims that she was using CBD oil 8 days out from her fight, from that fight. And she was on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani a couple of days ago, and she was so upset. And I kind of want to know what your guys' opinion is on just the state of CBD use in the UFC, and if that's something that should fall on the fighter, obviously, or that's a rule that needs to be just amended and done away with. Ray, I'll start with you. What do you think about CBD use?
It's tough, man. I mean, I don't. Let me put it together. So it doesn't like enhance anything, right? It's just kind of like is there like restoration, I guess? Like what does it do? Like,
so from my understanding, I'm not a scientist or a marijuana expert, though I might look like one. The CBD is basically it doesn't have the psychoactive component that regular weed has, and a lot of fighters will use it for definitely muscle recovery. She says that it helps her sleep. Just kind of stuff like that. So just knowing that it's not, she says it's not enhanced. It didn't enhance her performance whatsoever. I'm under the mindset that 8 days out, it couldn't have enhanced her performance. I mean, I don't even know if she smoked that shit the night before. I don't think that you're any better off going into a fight stoned than you are. Than you are sober.
It's about time for them to kind of like I guess, crack down on that and figure that out because, that's something kind of minor. There's people who's been caught doing, steroids, and this is nowhere near close. This is something that's harmless. This isn't like steroids. Yeah, that can really hurt someone, and you have this oil that's not doing anything to help them out in the fight. So I don't see the problem with it. A 9-month suspension is kind of harsh in my opinion. I don't know. I didn't need to figure that out because that sucks. I think there were speculations. I know Nate was doing the same thing, but I mean, everyone knows Nate smokes weed. I mean, it's just weed. What's the harm? What's the harm in marijuana? Honestly, there's no harm.
Yeah, man. Tommy, what do you think, man? I mean, as it pertains to Calvillo, just specifically.
I think you guys hit it on the ball. I mean, personally, I don't think marijuana should be on the banned substance list because, like you said, it doesn't enhance your performance at all. And there's guys taking cocaine and they don't get any suspension. And it's just kind of ridiculous. 9 months is, I mean, rules are the rules, and you got to abide by the rules. But it just sucks. It just sucks, and I don't think it should be like that.
It definitely sucks. Especially when it occurred in a state like Nevada where marijuana is recreationally legal. I mean, you don't need to have a license to use it. But I also do think, the contrasting point would be like, she knows what the rules are. She knows that she could have tested positive. And so she kind of chose to put, her career in jeopardy like that, whether it was a big risk or not. So I do think it's kind of like multifaceted. But yeah, I definitely think that the 9-month suspension is preposterous. You have guys that pop for way worse. I mean, real PED stuff, and they don't get half that suspension.
Yeah.
So as we see kind of our country and also like just kind of other people in the sport advocating for it, it's definitely something that they need to take a look at. It was just something that I kind of wanted to raise attention to on this show, particularly just because I saw her interview on the MMA Hour, and I kind of just wanted to bring it up. But yeah, man, as it pertains to her, we should see her back. She actually was set to fight. She said she was set to fight Michelle Watterson before she learned about this suspension. So her career is going to take a hit. She's lost sponsors. So,
man,
yeah. Hopefully she gets her shit together and she takes the time off and trains. But yeah, kind of with that, I feel like we rifled through a lot of news. Was there anything else in particular that you guys wanted to bring up before we sign off here?
No, I'm pretty clear-minded. I'm good.
Yeah,
I think we touched up on a bunch of good stuff.
I think so too. So like as we get closer to UFC 223, we definitely kind of wanted to table our 223 discussions for next week, and then definitely the week following for the fight. So that's kind of why we didn't really go into 223. But trust me, we will go in depth. Totally Recalled is going to have mother effing vlogs, hopefully shout outs, hopefully interviews. I mean, we might even get a live stream going. I mean, the possibilities are endless when you guys are going to the fight. I'm super excited for you guys.
Hell yeah, man. It's something that it's literally a dream come true. Like, I can honestly say, like, this is something I've dreamt. I've always dreamed of seeing. Like, not even just a Joanna, but mainly Joanna. I've always dreamed of meeting her and seeing her. And now that we're put in the place to actually do that, it's just kind of like, there's so much we can do with this. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. I'm ready to be with Ray and his boys, and we're just gonna have fun out there, see what happens.
Dude, it's gonna be dope. So yeah, with that, next week we'll be back. We'll be talking 223 pretty heavily. The following week we'll be talking 223. With all this news coming out, who knows what other kind of news we're gonna have to talk about next week. But yeah, just with that, I hope you all have a good week and a good night. I want to give a special shout out to all the viewers that are watching. I know we recently just got posted on MMA 24/7 on Facebook. So shout out to everyone on MMA 24/7. That's a big that's a big posting for us. And yeah, just shout out to all the viewers. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of that shit. I apologize for my roommates who you can hear. They're drunk as hell in the back there talking about their piece, So yeah, with that, you guys want to say peace out?
Hey, kill or be killed, homie. Peace out.
Yeah. Peace out.
Hey, killer be killed. I'll catch y'all later. And we are out.